Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. In this time we are starting into Webflow. This is the first video about Webflow and I would like to give you a small overview of the features that Webflow has. I want to introduce you on this whole new topic on this channel. And the first thing that we are going to do is to simply take a look at the Webflow website. So we have this really beautiful website right here and we can directly start out. It's free, so you can just jump into it as well. You don't have to pay anything for it. So we have this beautiful introductory video right here showing us the user interface of Webflow. Webflow enables us to create these websites and web apps without having to code anything. So it's giving us the ability as a designer like me to create a website without thinking about all the coding aspects. And Webflow is also producing really great and clean code. So we can simply click view the code, and they even say they hate bad code too. So you see that it's really a clean code, HTML and CSS in this case. And it's just really clean, and we can even preview the Webflow designer, like the main user interface that we are going to work with, and it's loading. And of course I already created an account, and you will see the logged in interface within a few seconds. I just want to show you how this Webflow interface looks like. So we are in the read-only mode, and we got that, and this is the user interface pretty much. So we can click on all these different texts, all these different items that we have. For example, this headline, H1, and these images. And you can of course also link text and link different things. So you can do pretty much anything with it. The cool thing that I also want to show you in this video series is this interactions and animations feature. So we aren't going to start with that since this video series is about learning Webflow. That means I'm not really like a Webflow expert or anything, but I'm learning Webflow as well, just as you are. And maybe you find it useful to watch me learning Webflow, and maybe you will get a few things for your own process as well. So back to the animations and interactions feature, you see that, oh wow, I really love this animation, this burger animation. It's just beautiful, cool. I'm really excited to try this out. Webflow really did an awesome job with that. So we can build 3D animations, we can trigger stuff, and it's just beautiful. It's magical. Cool. So that's it for the first introductory part. Now let's jump into our dashboard. So if you created an account, and maybe you will just do this right now so you can follow my steps, then you have this dashboard right here, and I already got some basic projects, but I didn't really do anything within them. So you can create a new project using this button, and you can choose a few templates. You can even purchase templates and a connected CMS version of them in this market. Okay, maybe let's jump into a first plain project in the beginning. So you see, I already got 2 projects, and the free version features 2 projects. So we can get rid of one or jump into one of these projects that I already have, or we can even upgrade to these plans and get 10 projects or unlimited ones. So what we're going to do now is to simply get rid of one of these. You have to type in all of this stuff right here. I'm not typing all of this right there. I'm simply copying it, pasting it, delete forever. But it's cool that they really make sure deleting something is really forever, and it's important that you really think about while writing this confirm message. So we have a simple page right here, like a dummy page, and what we are going to do now is to get an overview of all the different features and aspects of this designer interface. So we have our menu right here. We can jump back to the dashboard, and we can change something like the project settings and the editor. We can add elements. We can also hit A on our keyboard, and we get a lot of cool elements that are just normal for like web apps and websites, like the heading, like a div block, links, buttons, lists, and so on. And we have form stuff and other components like a nav bar, a drop down, and so on. We can add more pages, so you don't really just create a one-page layout right here. You can even create more pages, and it's just easy as clicking this button right here. You can give it a page name and some other details. You can even edit the SEO settings and so on, and you even get a preview of it, how it will look like in a search result on Google or on Bing or anywhere else. So this is pretty cool already. I'm really looking forward to that. And then we have some CMS related stuff. I'm not really sure about the CMS yet, but I will try it out in a future video as well. And then we have a few assets right here. The assets are these images that we pasted or uploaded or anything. So they are inside this tab right there. Okay, so let's start out by doing something, I don't know. We will just test out. Okay, so I can drag in a button, and you see that on the right side, we have like this layer hierarchy, and I see when I drag it somewhere that it's moving within the hero left div block. I'm assuming it's a div block, but we will see if it's really a div block in a few seconds. So what I can do is to paste it below the button, because I want it to be on the like right side of it. Just drag it, and it's below the button. I think what we could also do is to copy these buttons and to paste it in. So if you want to have another button looking just like the first one, then you can do the same as well. But let's just work with this button. And let's see on the right side what settings we have to customize it. Okay, so we can select a class or a tag, and there are already a few ones. If I select button, I just get the same layout, like the same styling as this button right here. We can also remove the class, so we have our standard button there again. And we can also create a class, and it's saying create new class, just type anything. So, okay, let's just type button 1. And we see we can create a new button, hit enter, and you created just a new class called button 1. Okay, so we can change some of the flex item settings, making it expandable, don't shrink, etc. We can change the display setting, which is flex and inline plug and so on. So I'm not an HTML or CSS expert. I have quite some knowledge about it, but for me, I'm primarily using this web app, Webflow, for creating a website without having to think about code. So it's also a learning process, of course, getting back into these like programming related words and so on. So we can also change the padding and the margin, I guess. Something like that, I don't know. Click and drag. So we can also click and drag with our mouse, or in my case, my trackpad. And we can change the width and the height to whatever we want. Just like that. The height same. Of course, it looks really weird right now, but I'm just trying to get an overview of all these different aspects of the app. So we can select the overview to be hidden, to be visible, and so on. So this can be useful from time to time. The position is auto usually. We can also set it to absolute, fixed, and so on. So if you, for example, have like a nav bar and you want it to be visible all the time, you usually set it to fixed, I guess. Relating. So if we look at the typography, we can change the font to quite a lot of fonts right here. So I chose Typography MS. I don't know what it's spelled or I don't know how it's pronounced actually, so I'm just pronouncing it like that. And we can select a few weights. And we can change the font size as well. Oops. And there we go. What I'm really curious is how I can manage to place the text in a centered position within the button. I mean, of course, that's like probably the most important thing to most of us, to have a centered text inside a button, so you don't have to think about the positioning. Maybe we can check the button right here to figure out how this works. So they have just set a fixed amount, and I think we could do the same, saying that, for example, this should be, I don't know, let's try out 100 pixels, and from the bottom 100 pixels as well. Of course, if you expand the padding, it will reduce. If you increase the padding, it will result in a larger button, but that's not really what we want to do. So you have to make sure to place it in a correct position. I don't know, maybe this is possible without guessing the numbers in here, but I think we will figure this out in a future video when we will really get a deeper understanding of all the different aspects of it. So of course this was just like a small test. We can also delete it, and I want to jump into these other aspects and these other features. So this was just a button, a small like example, and we, for example, see that this first button that we have right here, it's not just styled really great, but it also has a link. We see this in this little icon right there. And when we click the settings icon, I can simply set a link for this button. So I could simply say this button should redirect and open in a new tab to my YouTube channel. So it's pretty easy. We have on this right side right here a screenshot, which is in this assets part and assets tab, and a caption. And all of that is in this hero right, just like that. So that's pretty cool. So we really have the ability to select all of these different HTML tags, and so we really have the ability to select all of these different HTML elements, like a paragraph, like a normal screenshot, divs, and so on. And we can even view our whole website that we created in using different viewports. So for example, we had at the beginning this web desktop version. So we can simply select a tablet one and also a smartphone version of it. And this is pretty cool actually. So you can simply select a few of them. I don't know what measures, like what pixels they have currently, but we can also customize it and drag it into a different size, just like that. That's cool. That's really helping us to get an overview or to get an impression of our layout of our website and how it looks like on all these different platforms. Okay, let's go into some more Okay, let's jump into some more features. We have the undo and the redo tab. So we have the undo and the redo feature right here, pretty normal. It saved our settings automatically. It saved our settings and our changes automatically, and we can export the code. We get a preview of this, and to export the code we need to upgrade our plan because this is just a preview version of the code. Then we have a destination that we can select. We have the styling, of course. We have settings, the layer list, then we have the style manager, and we have interactions. Interaction is something that we will cover in a future video. So we will focus on the first few things that we just see in this interface right here. And interactions will be part of a future video. We can hide element edges. We can hide empty elements. We can show a light grid overlay. So this is pretty awesome. If you love to work with grids, and I can really recommend this to you, then you should probably just use this button. And you can click a few times on it to get a different grid. And we can get like an X-ray mode in which we see all of the boxes surrounding these elements. So this is pretty nice. You will get an impression of the padding, of the margin, and so on. It's a great feature. And we can also preview video tutorials. Now, the whole Webview team created really an awesome set of videos about all these different features that are within this platform. And maybe we will just try out to watch one of these videos and we will get an overview of it.
Welcome to Webflow, the easiest and most powerful way to build, design, and publish your website in a fraction of the time it would take to develop a website in code. Unlike other web building tools, Webflow harnesses the power of the fluid and responsive principles of the web. This means you can't simply drag an element to anywhere you like on the page, but instead add styles to your objects to get them to look and feel exactly the way you want them. What you get in return is the ability to customize your site in a near unlimited amount of ways, and publish your website with the confidence and reliability of real code without having to write it yourself. With this total UI customization, you can choose to fully alter one of our many phenomenal templates, or even design a site entirely from scratch. Webflow also prides itself on generating clean HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that's actually better structured than the code the average developer would write by hand. You can also choose to export this code and use it outside of Webflow however you like. In short, Webflow is the most powerful tool for designers, developers, or businesses looking to design and publish your next website. And we can't wait to see what you create.
So this was the video tutorials feature. And of course, we can also show the keyboard shortcuts and get some help and feedback. On this bottom bar right here, we have a few, like a hierarchy. So we can see what elements are, or what boxes in the end are surrounding the element that we selected. So for example, if I select the screenshot, we see we have the screenshot right there. Then we have the hero right. And if I select the X-ray mode, this is the hero right. Then we have the hero wrap, which is probably like this surrounding box. Then there is the hero section, which is this one. We can of course also select these. And we have the body. The body is like the whole layout, the whole space that we are working in. But jumping back to the first button, the thing that we tried out in the beginning, let's try to customize it, and let's try these other features and these other settings, styling settings that we have in our styling bar right here. We tried the typography part, and we can also say we want to change the background color of it. So if, for example, you have like a blue color scheme, then you can simply select the blue color as well. And we can say we want the text to be white. And this looks already kind of cool. Get some colors into it. We can do the same with our like client bar logo section right there. We have the pipette tool as well. But to use it, and this is part of Webflow, then we need to install the Webflow Chrome extension from the Chrome Web Store. So to use this pipette tool, we have to choose to download the Chrome extension, which is just fine. I'm not going to download this right now. I'm going to do it while not recording a video, but in the end, we can simply download it to use more features, as I said, for example, the pipette tool. Okay, so back to the button. We have a few borders right here, and we also have shadows. So now we can select what box shadow we would like to have. We can say it should be inside or it should be outside. And for example, if you say on the inside you want to have a shadow, then you have to increase it. Increase the distance, and of course you have to select a color like this black one right there to like just see it. So if you increase it, of course it looks dumb, but if we add it to the outside and if we increase the blur a little bit, decrease the size a little bit, and maybe if we also say we want the color to have a little less opacity, we can simply go to 50%, 50%, like that. Then it's not really that much. Visible, and we can work with that, and it really looks cool. So having it transformed into a blue button with some small shadows. Okay, so we have a few things left, which are the transitions and transforms and effects. We are not jumping into these, as I said, just yet, but we will do it in a future video. So this is the first impression video that I have from using Webflow. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is going to be an ongoing series in which I'm learning Webflow and in which you are learning Webflow as well, because we are going to do this learning process together. And I'm really excited about it because Webflow will enable me to create websites. And I'm not a programmer, I'm not a developer. I'm just trying to focus on my designing skills, and Webflow is helping me achieving this goal. So, in the next few videos, we will check out more features that Webflow has to offer. This was just the first one of the series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it and if you want to see more of this, just hit the thumb up button below this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to thank you for your time, guys, and we see us in the next one. Bye.